Hey, coach, has got a fantastic guest tonight. This is Tony Bateman, is the defensive coordinator at Mecklenburg County High School in Virginia. And me and Tony were talking before we started. Tony has the highest viewed video on my channel, and his three videos. He did three videos for us. I don't know, about 2, 3 years ago, I
About four
think.
years ago,
Yeah, before
almost four.
COVID, I think. And all three of the videos are in the top 10 most viewed videos on the channel. So for an air raid channel, our viewers love some 4-6, and Tony is the man. He is the guru of the 4-6. He's going to talk three deep zone tonight, and he's going to share some video because it seems like every third comment I get on your videos, I still get a ton of them every week. It's all about, can you show a little video, show a little video. So buddy, I appreciate you doing this. I know how busy you are. Before you start talking, let's talk about your online clinic coming up. It's this Saturday. It's going to be on Google Meet. We're going to have the link on Eventbrite to for guys to go to. And how long is it going to be? Talk about the clinic a little bit.
It's going to be a good solid 2 hours, Joe. I'm gonna go through alignment assignment, the single high stuff, cover one, cover three, pressure packages, and also our nickel package, and also talk a little bit about personnel because a lot of questions that I get are, what are you looking for in certain positions? Is it 3-4 personnel? Is it 4-3 personnel? How do you play it? So I'm gonna try to cover all five major bases in that 2 hour period. Most of the guys that have been signing up for it, if you already have a lot of my stuff, it's free for you. If not, it's $50 flat, and you get 2 full hours, any Q&A you want, and everything else you could ask for with the system.
Awesome. Well, the top video, your very first video you did for me, has over 20,000 views on this channel. So I know there's a lot of guys out there that want to get in there and be able to Q&A with you and catch it live. So we'll have that. We'll have that in the that link in the comments below so that you can get to that. But that's this coming Saturday, which is
March the 30th.
March the 30th. And what time does it start?
4 o'clock. And for the guys that see this video late, I'm going to do another one this summer, probably before we get into camp, probably around June.
Okay.
Because we get out of school here in Virginia, we get out before Memorial Day. So I'll probably do another one in June. So the guys that see this video, if you see it late, catch it late. I'll be doing it again in June for sure.
Okay, and that's this is 2024, so this coming March, Saturday at 4, and I'll put it this video will hit Thursday morning, and I'll publicize it Thursday afternoon and Friday, and then that thing will be rolling Saturday afternoon. So we'll get a lot of guys in there to see it live, see you teach a thing. But buddy, I sure am glad you're back on here and can't wait. So I'm going to turn it over to you. Teach us like we're freshmen and we're trying to learn your defense, man.
Got you. Well, glad to be back on, Joe. About 3.5 years ago, you had me come up here. It was right in the middle of COVID. A lot of us coaches were sitting around. We didn't have a whole lot to do. And you were like, hey, man, you want to come on the channel? And as a defensive guy, especially a pressure 46 guy, I was like, this is an air raid channel. I don't really know, what kind of reception I'll get. But as you see, evidently, I got a lot of reception. So what I'm going to do, guys, is we're going to jump in. I'm going to do a little screen share and let you guys see, first of all, a little bit of our playbook. And let you guys get an example of kind of, how things look and what we teach. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into just basically three deep stuff. And I'm going to give you a basic look real quick. This is an ace set right here. So I'm going to do 2x2 first. I'm going to do doubles and I'm going to do ace. To put it in a nutshell, we play cover three from a 3 deep, 3 under principle. So we don't necessarily drop 7 every time. We rarely do. We have a call where we'll drop a buzz into the boundary occasionally. But for the most part, we play 3 deep, 3 under in our cover 3 scheme. Our rover, which is kind of like a strong safety, his rule is always to the field. If we're in the middle of the field situation, then he'll just be to the call side. So our guys play a 3-system rule that works a little bit like this. It's match, carry, deliver. We call them a seam flat or curl flat player, but what we teach them terminology wise is match, carry, deliver. So what we're going to do is our jack linebacker, who you see over here, him and the rover are going to match everything that breaks to the perimeter. So any outbreaking route, whether it be a speed out, 5 and out, things of that nature, they're going to match that route. They're going to do that. So it's going to turn into almost cover one in about 2 seconds. We play three match. We don't play landmark zones. So a lot of times it's hard for guys to figure out whether we're in cover one or cover three because we play both. Now, the carry part of the system works like this. If two right here were to push vertical down the seam, our rule is once he hits linebacker depth, we consider him vertical. So if he pushes us to about 5 to 7 yards, we're going to carry him in the seam. We're going to put our hands on him and we're going to carry him in the seam. And unless one shows underneath quick, like a slant or shallow cross or something, we're going to carry that guy as the rover. What we teach is our rover will play two vertical in a four vert situation. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. I'll show you guys four verts. So if you're the rover, you're thinking if two's vertical, he's mine. The free safety plays two vertical to the boundary side. So if you're getting two vertical, our best athlete, which is our rover, he's going to carry two vertical in the seam. So we have the match part, which is the outbreaking route. We have the carry part, which is the vertical route. Now, that is why we call him a seam flat player and not a curl flat player, because technically by alignment, he's standing in the curl already. And sometimes I have found if I tell a high school kid he's got the curl, he'll just stand there and pop his feet and not move. And you want that kid to actually move and get some depth as he's being pushed vertically. If not, good quarterbacks will flash and throw it right over his head all night long versus cover three. So you want him to get some depth initially because you don't want the quarterback to get a clear read. Oh, he's just popping his feet, his zone. You want him to open up, put his hands on, and move because it'll look a little bit like cover one to the quarterback, and you can contest those quick seam throws down the middle to the field. Now, the deliver part of the concept, for the most part, has to do with levels, concepts, and how we defend mesh. So if two is going to break across, all right, now if he breaks quick, we just give an in call to the Mike backer here in the middle hook. But if he's trying to push us like a deep overshot, if we're playing mesh or Y cross, if he's taken here, we're going to make him run the hump. We're going to get our hands on. We're going to make him run the hump. And as he comes across, we're going to deliver him into the hook player, which is 99 times out of 100 always going to be our Mike. We're going to deliver him in there. We're going to give him the same in call. The only difference is we're getting hands on and we're making him run deeper probably than he wants to, and hopefully to mess up the timing of their concept. When we do this, our eyes are still looking at one the same way we would on a vertical push, because we know if we have something deep coming over the top, we could have something shallow coming underneath. So we're going to have our eyes on one, but our hands on two. We play this on both sides with the rover and the jack. And what this does is gives us the ability to defend a lot of spread concepts by still maintaining what you see up here, which is a 5-man rush. That is the key to what we do, is we're able to keep our 5-man rush in place. We're able to dictate big on big or a full slide. We kind of narrow down the protection, but we're able to play a true 3 deep, 3 under matchup zone behind it. So what I'll do here real quick, if I can get this thing to operate, now I'll show you tight end set, but it's 3-by-1. Now you see the Mike and Jack has switched. This is the only time this happens. Because we have a tight end to the trip side, we have our run strength and pass strength together. So now these two just switch. The Jack becomes our hook player. The Mike knows that he's the seam flat player to this side. Now what you see here is our trips rule, our open receiver rule. So if we only have one to this side, the corner looks inside, he sees nothing. He's going to lock on this side. What this does is free up the first inside backer. We could use him on a blitz. We can bracket. We can do a lot of things inside with this player. But if we're just playing base defense right now, we still have a 3 deep, 3 under. The difference is we can contest the quick throws to the single receiver side. Okay. When the free safety, he sees he's got 3, his alignment is going to remain the same simply because we teach hips on the goalpost. So if the ball is in the middle of the field or the ball is on the hash, doesn't matter. Our free safety should turn around and see the goalpost at all times. Now, with high school kids, are they going to screw it up? Absolutely. Do my kids screw it up? Yes, they do. Okay. But the biggest thing you can tell your DB coach to preach to that free safety is keep your hips on the goalpost. Because if he gets too far on this hash, he's like, oh, I'm on the ball, coach. There's no way he can make a play in the seam to the field side. Not many safeties are going to be athletic enough to do that. So whether the ball's on the hash or in the middle of the field, if you tell him, keep your hips on the goalpost, the formation or the alignment of the offense is not going to trick up the alignment of the free safety. He's going to be consistent in the same place at all times. So this just gives you a tight end set, 2x2 and 3x1, how we play it. Joe, if you got anything, feel free to ask it while I'm clicking around here.
Yeah. How would you play slant shoot with that?
I'm getting ready to draw that up for you now.
Okay.
The toughest route combination we have to defend in cover three. All right, we call it dragon, so that's what you're going to see it drawn up to. Now, what we want our rover to do is take away the inside throw first. So his alignment alone should deter the slant. He's going to play through the slant, rally to the flat. He's not going to run out there immediately because this is a shoot. If it was a push 5 yard out, then yeah, he's going to match him all the way out. But if it's just a quick 2 steps and go, he's going to expand 45, take away the slant with his body. And as the ball is thrown, we rally up and we make the tackle for as short as a gain as possible. Any kind of horizontal stretch is very tough sometimes for cover three, especially in high school, because at the field side, they have plenty of room to run this slant shoot concept. They have a lot of room to run it. So we do have a way to load the zone. And I'll show that to you guys later if I get a chance. But in our base three scheme, just 3 deep, 3 under, our rover is going to take away, we call it take away the touchdown first. Take away the touchdown, take away the first down. So we're going to take away this right here, because if we run out here and he catches this, it's him and the free safety in the goalpost. And we know that. Because this Mike's going to have to get on a horse to get out here and make this play to the field. And he's not going to probably be able to do that. So he's a run first defender. So we're going to take away the slant with our body. And when that ball comes out hot, we're going to rally down and we're going to make the tackle for a minimum gain as possible. So you guys, you know me, I'm not one of these coaches that tells you, hey, it's going to stop it. No, what I'm telling you is this is how we defend it. And we're going to make the tackle for a minimal gain as possible. The toughest combination we defend in this is this slant shoot concept. The other tough combination for us to defend in this is a flood concept. Quite frankly, because when we're dealing with trips, the rover's going to have to play the deep out first. So you're probably going to get the quick underneath, and he's going to have to rally up and make the tackle. Same concept you see here versus slant shoot. But flood is typically designed to attack cover three, just like a horizontal stretch like this. So it's not one of them things, guys, where, you know, what beats cover three won't beat this cover three. No, this is a 3 deep, 3 under fire zone system. So certain cover three beaters, they're going to be able to complete them. It's just a matter of your kids coming up, making the tackle and making it 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 6 instead of it's a first down because he gained 15 yards. If you're giving up 12 to 15 yards on a speed out, you got tackling issues. You don't have scheme issues. So that's basically how we teach it. We want the body to take away the interior route first, and then we're going to rally out to the perimeter. Typically, what we're trying to do is from hash to hash, we want to make sure we got multiple hats in here and just make you throw the ball underneath into the perimeter, and rally up and make the play. And typically, your first read should be all you get because, again, we're in a double set here. We got 5-on-5 up front. So we're expecting you to have one read. That ball's got to come out on time. And it's got to come out quick. So, you know, big shots down the field, you're going to have to throw the guy open because you're not going to have time to sit there and pat the ball and wait for him to get open. So we're depending on pass rush being married to this, and it's a good marriage to cover one because you're not able to just run rub routes and stack your receivers all night long and things like that. And I'm getting ready to go to a different concept. Matter of fact, this is the doubles look right here. So this gives you an example of what it would look like versus true 2x2 doubles. You air raid guys, you spread guys. We're going to take advantage of spacing on this side right here. We know that we can sit our jack backer in the box, and in 2 steps, we know he can get out here. So we know that you're probably not going to run a lot of speed outs into the boundary because the sideline is an extra defender for us. So we're going to give you the speed out here if you want it into the boundary. But the rest of it, you're going to have to come into our wheelhouse. If you want to run a shallow cross, he's going to get hands on you. Okay. If you want to run any kind of bang 8, the free safety is sitting right here on the goalpost waiting for you to do it because he will play 2 weak on a vertical. The rover has 2 strong on a vertical. And that's how we teach it. If it's a trips formation out of 10 personnel, which I think is the next one we have. Nope, that's the play. Let's see. Got to scroll down so you guys can see it. I'll go over some of the concepts with you if you want to see them. Where are we at? Where are we at? There we go. All right, this is 4 verts, 3 verts to a side from trips. So basically what we're going to do, remember the free safety, he turns around, he's got his butt cheeks on the goalpost. So he's in a good position to defend 3 in the seam right here. All right, this Mike is going to get out, get his hands on 3. That's his job. If he can get a chuck, get his hands on him, what he really wants to do is make the quarterback have to put some air on the ball. If the quarterback puts some air on the ball, we've won. Even if you don't get a great jam, because you're in the box, you're a run defender first. If you don't get a great jam, but you force the quarterback to throw the ball up in the air instead of straight down this pike, then you've done your job, because now a free safety can make a play on the ball, or he can disrupt the ball from the receiver. The rover will carry 2, as he does when it's doubles. Corner, of course, would have 1. In this situation, this is where we can get creative on the backside. Our base rules, yes, we're going to make this backside receiver with the corner, but we can shove off and let him play a little underneath help, the jack backer, or we can blitz the jack backer. We have a lot of different options that we can play on this boundary side, depending on what kind of team we're playing and what that boundary receiver is doing. If they're a concept team and that backside receiver isn't very good, okay, and they're not really going to target him, you might see a corner pressure come off the boundary. There's a lot of different things that we can do and mix it up on that backside to help us get an extra hat in pressure game, as well as possibly the run game. Some teams will try to get in trips to the field and hit you with speed option to the boundary. And when they do that, this jack backer becomes very important, helping fit that from inside out. So this gives you an example of what the 4 verts would look like from a trip set. Any other concept you want to see, Joe? I'm gonna go through a couple ones, but I know you air raid guys got concepts for days. So
No, I love what you're doing.
all right, double slant. I did play quarterback back in the day, so I do know some of the concept calls. We got a 91 concept right here on the backside of the boundary. Speed out with a go ball. Double slant. This will give you a little bit idea of how we coach it up. We teach the Mike primarily. He's going to play the first crosser, and the rover and jack play the second crosser through the zone. So what happens is in a situation like this, the first thing coming through for the Mike would be the slot. The rover's going to pass that off, give him a simple in call like we talked about earlier. That's a deliver concept, and the match carry deliver. He's just going to deliver it right now. Okay, he's not going to be able to get his hands on it. It's a 3-step slant. He's going to deliver it right now. This Mike's going to open his hips up, and he's going to play this. That's going to be his guy. Okay, the rover, he's going to see the same thing coming in his side, and we consider this the second crosser because he actually crosses his face because our rover plays inside leverage to this formation. Okay, he will split 2 and 3 to trips, but he's inside of 2 in a doubles formation. So first thing cross, second thing cross, he would play the slant. So we're able to defend 2 in breaking underneath routes. I'll show you in a minute where we can defend levels and we can defend drive as well. And keep in mind, we're doing all of this with a 5-man rush. Literally all I would be calling in the game is our base, and we're running the same coverage over and over again. And we're repping these concepts. Our offense runs a lot of these concepts, so it's easy for us in the summertime to get the quality reps that we need because we're just repping it against our offense. Let's see. This is an example of like a levels concept from trips. You'll see the same rule apply. Now, one of the things that can happen when this happens is depending on how deep, and I drew this up this way for a reason. Depending on, and I don't know anybody that would necessarily run this way, okay? 2 would probably be on a clear out, but I wanted to give you an example of 3 routes crossing the field. If this happened, okay, with the jack sitting here like this, he could become an extra defender and he could actually play this shallow cross coming from the strong side to the weak side. All right. Now, typically, that would have to be a game plan thing for us because most likely I'm going to send him, okay, or he's going to be bracketing underneath that number 1 and the corner's going to bail out early into an actual deep third. What we do when we do that, and our base, the corner knows if he's the naked guy, he's going to lock, okay? So Buddy Ryan used to call this swipe. We do the same thing. If we give a swipe call, so the call will be red, which is our cover 3, we just say swipe. What would happen is the corner now knows I'm a true third defender. He now knows that, okay? and the jack is going to play his normal technique. But by making the corner a third defender and the jack playing his normal technique, now if this single side receiver were to come inside, the corner's just going to keep getting depth and his eyes are going to go strong side. So if we're getting like I know sometimes air raid teams will like to run mesh and they'll have the two receivers closest to each other run it, and then you'll get your clear out over here. So if he's under and the three comes over the top, the three will be coming right into the wheelhouse of that corner that's dropping back into that third by the numbers. So it's a way that we can just make a call and change how we want to play the weak side. Okay. But in this situation, if we're talking front side, let's say you got like a 5-yard in cut, a 10-yard dig, or 12-yard dig. This is how the distribution would come up underneath of it. The throw is not going to be the shallow. The throw is going to be right here to number 2. So what we're trying to do is we're going to 45 out. We're going to try to match this and get up underneath this throw. In my opinion, takes a solid high school quarterback to make that throw. Not a lot of high school quarterbacks are making that throw, especially with a decent pressure in their face. But this would be typically your throw. If he's reading the apex defender, Joe, you're an OC, so maybe you would coach your guy different. But I'm thinking if he's reading the apex defender, as soon as he sees him sink and take this dig behind it, you're going to try to throw this to number 2 right up underneath of it and force this Mike to get out here on it. Basically, you're just going to try to fit it right in this window right here. So to me, it takes a solid quarterback to do that. But there are ways to defend it. Typically, if we know that we have the extra man here and we're swiping it off, the Mike can get on his horse and 45 out, and we can expand our hook because he knows he's got help on this shallow cross. So I'm just trying to show you guys different route combinations, how they can be defended. Some are better than others. But if you know anything about a fire zone system, 3 deep, 3 under can defend pretty much everything that you're going to see as far as from numbers to numbers or hash to hash. If y'all have anything like this, Joe, let me know. I'm just drawing up some of the basic passing concepts that we see as well as we run where I'm at. This will give you an example of like levels from the boundary. Just got a simple seam slant on this side. Obviously, 45, he sees it break, he's going to take it. We get the shallow underneath. Jack will give him an in call. The Mike would play it coming across the field. And then the Jack can get under in the corner and over top of this dig route behind it. One key coaching point that if you're a DC or DB coach or whatever, is one of the cardinal rules of cover 3 that we teach is if one disappears, you squeeze 2 with your corners. So you see me how I draw this up. The minute our corner sees him break, he's going to squeeze inside. Okay. Now he's not doing it from a back pedal. He starts off backpedaling, but once he opens, if he has to squeeze, he is squeezing while running. His chest is and his eyes are still going to be facing his quarterback. He wants to squeeze it at a 45 the best he can because the free safety is going to be doing the same thing. Once his 2 has canceled, now he's a free football player because now he knows there is no 2 weak coming vertical. So once this does like this, now his eyes are strong side and he's reading the quarterback. He's a free football player in the middle of the field. So, and what most like our DB coach always tells our kid, deep is the deepest. So once your key is gone, once that 2 weak is gone, your deep is the deepest and you keep getting depth and reading the quarterback. So in this situation, if he's only got one thing coming at him, we're going to be able to vice this route pretty well. And the biggest thing that I try to make sure that we have is contested throws. We're not necessarily going to bat down everything. Some stuff is going to get completed, but the distribution and understanding it's contested throws. That's what we want to get to is kid catch the ball, we tackle. Okay. We're in the right spot. Kid catch the ball, we tackle. It's not, we got guys running wide open or, stuff like that. No, kid catch the ball, we're in the position to make the tackle. And that's 75% of the game. You're not going to stop every single pass, but when you combine the 5-man pressure that we're able to simulate along with guys in position to make the tackle, that's what matters.
Man, I'm sold on the 5-man pressure and the 3 under 3 deep. I like how you fit up against the pass. How does it fit versus the run? Like where does the secondary fit? Like I always had trouble. Where does the free safety fit on a run?
The free safety in our system, and I can just go back to a basic drawn versus doubles. Let's see. Because the beauty about what we do is our free safety is primarily a pass defender. Like I'll give you an example right here, and I assume you guys can see my arrow when I'm moving around. Um,
Yeah,
this is your tip.
we see your arrow.
This is a 7 box to spread. This is the nastiest, meanest look. Most of your spread coaches are going to look at this and throw half their run game in the trash can. Okay, you're not running duo, you're not running inside zone, you're not running trap. You know, they're getting rid of a lot of the inside stuff when they see this. Okay. So we know that other than counter OT, most of your run game is going to be perimeter. Okay. So you're going to be trying to run outside zone. You're going to sneak in some speed option every now and then, depending on what kind of quarterback you got. And as I tell a lot, let me stop right here. A lot of guys look at me and go, "Oh, we're going to speed option your edge guys." Well, that sounds good if your quarterback is a athlete. If your quarterback's not an athlete, you just might as well run toss because, you know, running speed option with a kid that can't run, that you're depending on to execute your offense and you're giving me a free hit on him, I'll take that. He'll get 3 yards and we'll get a kill shot and we'll just come back to the huddle and do it again. You're just giving me a free sack on my side of the line of scrimmage is what you're doing. So our fit, Joe, looks like this. Our ends are edge force contained players. They do not spill unless it's called for it. And we have certain calls that make them do that. But they are force players, typical to what a 3-4 outside linebacker would be. They're force players. If you notice in here, obviously the Mike and Jack do not have gaps. We are tackled in near back flow readers. So in a situation like this, for the Mike, his near back is the back. So what he's reading is through here, through this tackle's hip, right to the back. So if we get a mesh point right here, this Mike is gone. Straight gone. Because our force player is designed to top shoulder the quarterback and force a give read. So we're able to fast flow on everything from the backfield, especially versus spread, because our edge guys play the quarterback on read option. So we're able to move quickly and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hats to the inside zone aspect of read option within about 2 seconds. And it flows both ways. If he's on the other side, the Jack does the same thing. Now, because he's over here, the Jack's near back, we consider the near back the quarterback. So literally, if he opens, okay, if he opens his body away from me, I'm feeling it right now. I'm coming downhill and feeling it right now. The read through that we don't. I tell the kids a pull trumps everything. So if we get any, we don't get a lot of guard pulling because they don't like pulling away from these 3 techniques. But we do get tackle pulls. We get the occasional wham block. We do get counter OT. So that right there trumps the flow. So if I'm here and he pulls, I make a pull call like anybody else would in their defense. And when you hear a pull call as a backer in this system, you hear pull, you feel immediately. And our full lane is inside of the force player at all times. So if you're a fill player, you get a pull call or you got flow coming at you. So you're a fill player. Your rule is inside hip of the force player at all times. The only way that that changes is if the force player, what I teach the kids is if the force player disappears. So if you don't see him anymore, if he's gone, okay, then you roll off his hip and you go from inside out. So let's say, for instance, let's say this formation is coming, let's say they're running to the edge this way. And I need to feel this as the Jack. But when I'm coming downhill, either the end is reached or he got hooked inside, something I don't see. There's nothing for me. I can't get in there. He's washed. Something has happened. If I can't get in there, then I just roll off to the outside. Because what you're really doing is you're mirroring the steps of the back. So if you can't get in there, that means the back can't get in there. It's kind of common sense as far as teaching from a linebacker coach perspective. So when I go to field, if this is just single blocked and I can get between the 3 and the 5, that's what I want to do. Because if I see grass, that means the back sees grass. Okay. But if this thing is bottled up and conjumbled and I can't get in here because the force player has been turned or he's hooked inside, then I just roll off his hip. That's what I do. And what the Mike does, if he's the flow player from the backside, his rule is don't overrun your partner. So literally, I'm attached to his hip, and as he's filling, I'm coming across as a 45-degree angle, and I scrape through here, but I don't scrape laterally. I scrape at a 45 towards the ball. The biggest thing Buddy used to teach his linebackers that I try to teach my kids is they don't move laterally. They move 45 downhill towards the ball. And you want to squeeze the space between yourself and the line of scrimmage every step you take. Every step you take, you should get closer to the LOS because linemen want angles. And if you're moving laterally, you're letting that lineman meet you at a spot. Whereas if I'm coming downhill, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to beat the lineman to the spot, or I'm going to force the lineman to come off the combo block faster than he wants to, which allows my D line to get a one-on-one and make the play. So either way, it works out for us. I had a 3 technique this year with 27 TFLs in 10 games. Okay. And it wasn't because he was just this amazing dog. It's because he had an all-region linebacker behind him. And every time DeAndre's flashing downhill, the kid's coming off trying to block him. So now I just make a move when I make the tackle. So numbers-wise versus doubles versus trip, any kind of spread system, it's very difficult for them to run the ball. And we're able to do that without the free safety in the fit. The only time the free safety is involved in the fit is some kind of triple option pitch man on the perimeter type stuff. The free and the rover versus doubles and trips, 10 personnel, have very little to do with the fit. Very little to do at all. The rover is out here for alignment and leverage purposes. Like if you run a jet sweep or something like that, he doesn't have a direct fit, which is what makes, to me, this system the best for high school football, because you're not having to coach this kid to play pass and then fold in for the run like you would in a 4-2-5 and he was the star position. No, he doesn't have to fold in and do anything right now. We have 7 guys, okay? 6.5 if we want to get greedy in the pass, but we got 7. He doesn't have to fold in or do nothing. He is a bubble killer, jet sweep killer. He's a perimeter player. So if you have a kid on your team that he can tackle in space, he's an athlete, but he don't have the hind parts to play in the phone booth, that's fine. Stick him at the rover and let him play in space. That's where I think a lot of 4-2-5 guys get tricked up is they got a kid out there in space, but if he has to fold in there and get nasty, he ain't built for that. He's 175, 185 pounds. He ain't built for that. In this system, we don't need him in there. He doesn't go in there. Only time he goes in there when we're in an 8-man front. Other than that, he don't go in
You're making a believer out of me, man.
there.